Jesus is Lord. We are so grateful to God for another opportunity to come your way with the Family Life series from All Christian Evangelistic Ministries Incorporated, Akiemi, Reverend Baffour Kyei-Boaten. We thank God for last week. Last week we started with preparation towards marriage. But let me make this announcement. It's very, very important. The leadership of the ministry had agreed and given us the go-ahead that from Saturday, we're going to have an online prayer section for every member of Akiemi. Please, every member, even people who are Christians and want to join us, they are welcome. Don't mix out. The app we use there is Start Meeting. You go to Google Play, you type Start Meeting, and you download and you install it. Or Apple stores, you download Start Meeting and you install. And then we'll send you the link. So when the time is up, you just click on the link and you join the meeting. When you click on the link, select Connect through Internet. Don't dial. Use the internet connectivity. And wow, you'll be part of the service. All the men of God will be there. The prophets of God, the apostles of God, the evangelists of God, they will be there and they will lead us to pray. So make it a point. Come Saturday, there's going to be a wonderful time with the Lord. And for that reason, our empowerment service will be streamed live on Sunday evening at 6 o'clock p.m. Don't mix that one also, so that you'll be double blessed. The Lord bless you for being with us. We are so grateful to God for such opportunity. Good. So last week we started with preparation towards marriage. We didn't finish. I trust God today we'll be able to finish, and then next week we move on to another subject. And let me briefly do a recap of some of the things we went through. We said that we should understand marriage, preparing for marriage is a process. We said preparing for marriage is a process which depends mainly on the individuals involved. So there is no clear-cut number of years or days or months that I need to have to be able to prepare. We say that it's a process. But the best time to start preparing for a marriage is when you are still single, not when you have a partner that you want to marry, when you are still single. So we went through so many processes. I will just emphasize on some few. The first one, which we said you have to be independent. It means emotionally matured, physically matured, and spiritually matured. And we said emotional maturity shows your ability to handle stress, your ability to handle depressions. You see, those stressful situations, if you can't handle them, then you are not married, you are not ready for marriage. Physically, we're talking about you should be financially sound, you should be, in terms of your physical age, you should be up of age, above 18 years in Ghana, and you should be independent. Either you are living on your own, even if it's a family house, it means that you have your own place. It is not the common core type of family house. Sometimes living in there with your spouse can be difficult and complicated. And then we say spiritual maturity. Because we are Christians, we are looking at your spiritual maturity, because a lot of people who are not grown spiritually go into marriages and they mess up. You see, marriage, though, is both spiritual and physical institution. Therefore, you need to understand that as you look at the physical side of it, you must also look at the spiritual side of it. So spiritual maturity is important. And we Christians believe that marriage, as instituted by God, it is only God who can lead us to have a very successful marital life. Therefore, being independent is important. Then we said that whilst you are preparing for marriage, you must attend a premarital education class. We normally call it premarital counseling. And I said, and I want to repeat it, and I've been saying it anywhere I go, that one of the mistakes the church is doing is that we wait till people are holding their hands and they're in a hurry to enjoy sex. That is when we want to come with premarital counseling. In most cases, we don't have the impact that we need to have. I believe, and I keep repeating it, that the best time to learn about marriage is when you don't even have a life partner, when you don't even have a potential partner. That is when you can learn, because the information you gather will help you to be able to live, in fact, make a better choice when you want to choose a life partner. Then I also said, get a couple who will be mentors to you. You must get what we call mentor couple. They will be your mentors in marriage. They will help you. You can go to them when you are in trouble. You can approach them when you don't understand anything. And it's good that both you and your spouse agree and have such couple. Sometimes a lot of people will use their pastors and their spiritual fathers. It's not bad. It's not bad. But you see, there should be people you can go at any time and share anything with them. Not people you share some things with them, and then at the end of the day, you are not able to get the solution you are looking for. Then we said also that if you're preparing for marriage, stop thinking I or me and start thinking we, because you're not going to be alone anymore. You're going to be with another person. We also said that you must have an expectation. If you are going into marriage, you must have an expectation. Last week we said all these things. You have to be committed to the choice you have made. That is why it's very dangerous when you pick a partner because it's recommended by somebody, or she was recommended by your spiritual father or your spiritual mother or something. No, that person should be somebody you can be committed to. It's important. And if you already have a partner, then being committed to your partner is very, very important. We also said that whilst you are preparing, you and your partner must talk about money. What are we going to do with our money? Who is going to where? Are we going to keep one bank account? Are we going to keep different accounts? And then are we going to have investment account? I have always been advising potential married couples. You don't keep one bank account. It's advisable. You can have a family account where the two of you are joint signatories. Nobody has priority over the other. That is good. It could be an investment account. You save money in there and you can use that money for certain kind of savings for the future. But it is ideal, the woman, you have your account, the man, you have your account. In fact, whoever gets a lot of money can give the other person some money to save. It's good to talk about money. And I said, talk about children. And I remember at this point, I begged the men that, you see, you have to humble yourself. You don't go and say that I'm the man, I'll give birth to 10 children. The woman will give birth to 2, and the rest will never come. In fact, when it comes to determining who get pregnant, they decide when they will be pregnant. So if they are saying 5 and you want to, please humble yourself and bargain, so that you don't go and make yourself, I'm the husband. I tell you, after the second born, the rest will be mistakes. And all the mistakes will be committed by you, the man. So you should be able to talk about marriage. Children, free of charge. Don't be afraid. Then we said that you should also define the role friends and families and social activities will play within your marriage. It's important. We'll talk a lot about this point as we go on. But then you have to talk about it, because you don't get married and then your friends continue to be your best friends, and your wife, it's who? I don't know. She's my wife. He's my husband. But this is my best friend. We date back from childhood. What nonsense. Why didn't you marry that person? Such nonsense you don't tell your spouse. Those who say it and they go scot-free, it's bad attitude. It's very, very bad. Yes, he's your friend, but you left him and you married me. Your wife or husband, if he's not the number one person in your life, then you have a problem. I'm not saying don't have friends, but no, your friends cannot supersede your wife. Your friends cannot supersede your husband. In fact, as a Christian, if you take God out of the scene, the next important person should be your spouse. Even if your pastor is more important to you than your spouse, it's an error. It's a big mistake. A very big mistake. And we see it go on, and a lot of people suffer for it. A lot of marriages collapse simply because of some of these things. So if your husband or wife to be cannot be the most important person to you, then there's something wrong and you need to check it. And that is why we said you have to talk about these things. If you are the type who believe that you are so jealous, you don't want to share your husband with anybody, you don't want to share your wife with anybody, this is the time we talk about it. This is the time. You don't take me into your house, or I don't receive you into my home, and then tomorrow you are going with your sister, the next day you're going with your friend Akosia, and then you leave me always alone. No. One of the reasons for getting married is for companionship. Therefore, if I can't have your companionship, then there's something wrong with it. And companionship is not just about sex. No. It goes beyond that. So, those married men and women who are listening to me, and you keep running away from the house because your wife and you have friends who are important than your wife or your husband, it is an error. You need to change it, because it means that marriage, you people are enduring it. You are not enjoying it. Occasional visit to a friend is not bad. Occasional going out with your friends, it's not bad. But a regular, no. Even if your wife is looking for you, you're on the phone with your best friend. No, it's bad. It's very, very bad. Please, let's change from that attitude. Then we said, as you prepare towards marriage, you must determine the budget for the marriage. It's not like whatever anybody says, then let's do it. Oh, this is nice, let's do it. No. You go to somebody's wedding ceremony, and then you see something, hey, I'm going to do the same thing. Is it within the means of your budget? As Christians, we should be thinking of investment marriages. The marital ceremony, the event where you are going to be put together as husband and wife, should be designed such that you people will come out of it with something to invest, but not rather an occasion to drain all your lifetime investment. Remember, that is an event, and it's a one-time event, and that event does not even determine whether your marriage will be successful or not. So please, let us look at doing what we call investment weddings, which is very, very important. Something acceptable by all, standard, and then you are married. And the rest of the money, you invest it in your marriage. Hallelujah. We also said that you need to set goals. You need to set goals. You need to set goals. So when you set goals, everything changes from me to we. Because we are now a couple pursuing a common agenda. Therefore, we set goals. And we know that this is what our marriage is supposed to achieve. Sometimes failure to set goals affect the growth and stability of the marriage. A lot of marriages have suffered simply because there's been struggling to pursue each other's goal, and it affects, sometimes when they are children, they get affected. So please, before you go in, let us set goals. Let us establish good habits or good manners. You don't just eat anyhow. You don't just dress anyhow. You don't talk anyhow. You come and your lady is talking to her friends, and then you just jump in. I'm the man, I'm his boyfriend, and so what? These are not manners. They are bad manners. You have to learn good manners. It's important. We used to call a book, what do you call it? Courtesy for boys and girls. Youth of today, we don't learn those courtesies. You see the person dressed, comes in a very posh vehicle, sit by a table, and all his table manners are so bad. So bad. So let us learn good habits. Say thank you to your partner. Appreciate her. I am sorry. These are good habits that you must learn. They don't come by chance. They come by choice. You choose to do those things. If you don't choose to do them, they have a problem. If you are dating, you're going through courtship, and you can't say sorry, then it means when you get married, you're going to beat me up. And these things are very, very important. We need to look at it even as we prepare for marriage. Then we said that you can establish your own traditions. You can establish your own traditions. You can choose that everybody's birthday, this is what we do. Every Sunday is our fufu day. You see, you go to Accra and there are people like that. If it's Sunday, they don't mix the house. Because they know that when Sunday crosses and they don't get the fufu, they won't get fufu again. So, you see, you set up. These are some traditions spice up the relationship. Don't create traditions that will drain you so much and it become a burden on you. No. You can create your own tradition, sightseeing, going out with your wife and all that. It is your own. Nobody can challenge it. Don't copy people. Don't copy people. Create your own. Talk about intimacy. And it's important. This is one aspect, one subject potential couples don't talk about. We have to talk about intimacy. But you see, talking about intimacy doesn't mean going into practicing intimacy. It's important. You see, if you know yourself, you know what you want and you know what you don't like. So you should be able to openly discuss it with your partner. You should be able to tell her, when you hold my hand, I don't like it. I don't feel anything. I feel good when you don't hold my hand. There's nothing wrong. Somebody will tell you that when you hug me, then I feel so good. I always want you to hug me. You see, talk about intimacy. Discuss it. You the man. Let the woman know what are your expectations when it comes to your intimate life. Somebody says, I don't like kissing. Tell her. Some of the things you don't like, you can learn. And sometimes those who don't like some things, they come to learn and come to like it more than even those of us who used to like it. So you have to. We need to talk about it. So talking about sex doesn't mean we have to go and start performing sex. No, we talk about it. It's life. We discuss it. Maybe if I listen to your desires and what you are looking for, I'll not be able to meet it. So I wouldn't bother myself going to tie the knot with you. Because something that I cannot meet, why should I worry myself to go and tie the knot with you? I won't do that. I will not do that. So it's important you talk about intimacy. And you see, these things should be in very healthy, normal, love, serene environment. I will advise that even if you want to talk about these things, it should even be in a room where you'll be tempted to do what you're not supposed to do. Resist the devil and he will flee from you. Hallelujah. Resist him. You're talking about intimacy, it's better than under a tree somewhere. Outside, you talk plainly. No temptation. Hello? No temptation. It's important. Then we say that evaluate your habits. I think I mentioned it last time. You need to evaluate your habits. Let your other people help you improve on your habit. You may not know all about yourself, especially the bad ones. Let them help you. When they comment about a bad habit, accept and decide to work on it. Don't always be on the defensive, because you don't know everything about yourself. You don't. There are things you will do, people will tell you, you'll be marveled. Hey, so I do all these things. You don't know all about yourself, so get help so that you evaluate some of your habits and then you can change. And it's good to know your weaknesses, to know your strengths, and then begin to work towards it. I'm quick-tempered. I don't tolerate things. I easily write somebody off. I draw conclusions easily. You see, look for your weaknesses and then let's work on it. Then you have to also fine-tune your conflict resolution styles. What are your conflict resolution styles? When it comes to conflict, how do you handle it? You see, Thomas Kelman, who was an expert and wrote a lot about conflict resolution, classified the modes to handle conflict resolution in about 5 different modes. And you can adapt any of them. Read more about them. There's avoiding. When you avoid a conflict, it means you walk away. It's not like you're afraid of the person. You just walk away. Naturally, it's believed conflicts will die. So you just walk away. Then you can also, there's the one which you call competing. This one, everything about him is right. If your conflict resolution style is that way, I tell you, you have a long way to go. Everything about you is so high. You are so assertive, uncooperative. For you, you are right. Everyone else is wrong. In such situations, you cannot help in a marital environment. There should always be a room to accommodate somebody. And that is the next mode, accommodating. The sentiment here might be akin to extending kindness. A person who is accommodative will neglect their own concerns and interest in order to accommodate those of other persons. So my spouse, she's wrong. I have every right to condemn her or condemn him, but I choose to show her or him some good, some kindness, such that I will not ruin her person, her mood, whatever we have built. You see, we can build on it, and it's very, very important. So accommodate other people. Accommodate other people, especially your spouse. Remember, you will be living together in one room, and if there's somebody who wrong you the more, it's your spouse. Therefore, one of the conflict resolution modes I will encourage you to use is to be more accommodating. A style, you should be more accommodating in marriage. You should also try to compromise sometimes. Compromise means you split the difference. I am not wrong, but I just want to make peace. So you agree. You just let go. You compromise. Then collaboration, he said 2 heads are better than one. So sometimes it means that you engage the other person, you engage your partner in finding a solution. And it's important. Sometimes the solution you are looking for, you find it with your partner. And it's important you get to know that. Seek opportunities to serve if you are preparing for marriage. Naturally, people who don't serve others, in marriage, they are not able to serve their partners. Even if she's a woman, it's a natural occurrence. So in the church, seek for opportunity to serve. Serve in the house, serve your parents, serve your siblings, serve the church, clean the room, the church, help organize something in there. You see, service, not the pretentious type, where you are pretending to be very serviceable so that you catch the interest of a viable, in fact, a potential husband or wife, only to marry the person and resort to your old nature of laziness. No. You need to be able to serve. And in service, you build a capacity to serve your partner. Make servanthood such a natural part of your life now that service will come more naturally in marriage. If you are not a husband, if you're a man who does not serve, naturally it becomes difficult for you to serve other people. Then assess your friends. Assess your friends. Chances are that you are surrounded by some sort of community. These people may include your family, your friends, co-workers, your classmates. And it is important you surround yourself now with a support system that can encourage and help you later. There are people around you when you get married to. When you get married and they still remain around you, they will never help you in your marital life. These are people that will always bring you down. They don't encourage you. They don't add value to your marital life. Even your singles life, your spinster's life, they don't add any value to it. They are always talking negative even about marriage. Everything you do is wrong. Please, I'll advise you that you have to look at them. This assessment is so simple. Number one, ask the friends around, what value did they bring to your marriage? How do they hold your marriage? If the past Derek grade 3 comments about your marriage, be careful. This one cannot be your friend as a married couple. No. The comment about your wife is so bad and you are sitting there. It's wrong. The comment about your husband and he said, I'm not here. You see, that is how she is. No. These are friends you need to begin to edit them out of your life. Because they will not add value to your marriage. They will rather drain it and destroy it. Then you ask another question, do my friends view the opposite sex with respect? Is carrying some bitter experience from an unsuccessful relationship. And this guy tells you that any woman from this tribe is wrong. And he will argue with all kinds of strength and emotional attachment. And you still keep this person as your friend when you know your wife is coming from that tribe. Please, do an evaluation. He doesn't respect women. He talks anyhow about women. And he's your friend. Please, you ask that question, it's important. Do they affirm me at any cost, or are they willing to offer me gentle correction? What friends do you have? Everything you do is right. Even when you yourself, you know what you've done is wrong. They will tell you, oh, there's nothing wrong with what you've done. You see, and they start quoting unnecessary stuff. Please, this kind of friends will not help you. Your closest friends, the best, if you go through these 3 checks. Number 1, I said that, do my friends esteem or value my marriage? Number 2, do my friends view the opposite sex with respect? Number 3, do they affirm me at any cost? Or are they willing to offer me gentle corrections? If your friend scores 2 out of these 3, be careful. Those who score 0, write them off. Those who score 1, be extremely careful. Those who score 3, you can consider them, because they will add value to your marriage. And it's very, very, very important. I want us to understand these 2 things, even as I bring I bring our teachings to an end tonight. The last thing to remember is that we do things in marriage not because we have to, but because we genuinely love the other person. When you feel that whatever you are doing in your marital life, it is because you have to do it, then something is missing. Something is lost. Then the love is no more. Then the connection that brings the 2 of you together is missing somewhere. Therefore, you don't do things because you have to do it. No. You do things because there's some sort of love within the marital environment. And the last point I want you to also understand is that it is important to remember that marriages are hard because the environment is always changing. Marriage is always changing. Those of you who are preparing to come in understand. It will not be the same way as the year 1. By year 2, you will see some changes. By year 4, you see some changes. By year 5, you see some changes. By year 6, marriage keeps changing. Therefore, the couples must be dynamic. That is why a lot of education at the preparation stage is important. And I know that as you join me, you will learn more and you prepare for marriage, and marriage will be more beneficial to you. You will enjoy it and you will never regret going into it. We know the Lord who called us, he is faithful, and he will make our marital life very beautiful. I want to end here by encouraging you to join us next week as we come up with another topic. If you have any questions, you can send a question to us either on Facebook or through our YouTube channel. I want to encourage you, Saturday, we're not going to have the Facebook live transmission. It's going to be online prayer service from 8 o'clock p.m. to 9:30 p.m. And the app is Start Meeting. You can download it on the Google Play Store, or you can download it on the App Store. Install it. You get the link on our WhatsApp page, and you can join. Every one of us, you are invited to be part of this service. The Lord bless you. Sunday evening, we will bring you the live Facebook telecast, the empowerment service. The Lord bless and keep you, and see you on Wednesday. Shalom, peace, and goodwill. Jesus is Lord.